Thanos versus Jega Rdomnai. Now, this is a very unfair question, especially if you only give Thanos his sword. It still is a very unfair question. Now, let me explain. Jega is absolutely destroying Thanos no matter what. If he has the stones, then yes, Thanos is winning this fight. But if he does not have the stones, Jega is winning this fight. Now you have to remember that this dude was able to kill Spartans with ease, with single strikes with this sword, was able to sneak up on Spartans like it was nothing. Now to elaborate, a Spartan can hear for miles like it's absolutely nothing. Their hearing is insane. Master Chief once said that he could hear a pin drop in a storm. So yeah, that's very, very powerful hearing for something to not be heard and to kill silently is insane. Now, there is not a lot of mention of how good Thanos' hearing is, but it is probably very, very good. Now, is it as good as the Spartans? Maybe, maybe not. Well, here's the thing. Let's say it is. I still think Jega has the advantage of sneaking up on Thanos. If he does actually sneak up on him and stabs him in the back, I do think Thanos will die, just from the mere fact that one of these swords is much stronger than the average elite sword, meaning that it will definitely kill him one hit, just for the mere fact that one of these swords was able to stab right through a Spartan with ease, right through their protective armor, and their shielding, which granted that protects them a good majority of time from every single hit they take until it's depleted. This thing was able to one-shot the shielding and the armor, which the armor is like 8 inches thick. It's very, very powerful armor. If Thanos were to be wearing his armor, he would have a higher chance in winning this fight, but it would not be very high. Still, because of this one sword, could probably pierce right through the armor and right through his skin and right into his actual spine, either disabling him or just killing him instantaneously. Now, let's give Thanos some credit here. Now, if this were to go to the point where, say, he did survive the stab or he didn't get jumped and Thanos did hear him, depending on how good his hearing is, even though it's never said, Thanos could beat him in a hand-to-hand combat, just from the mere fact that Thanos is impeccably strong and he has his sword. That sword he has of his, he could throw very, very well, and he could probably punch a hole right through Jega's head if he tried. This is where I say Jega still beats Thanos, even with Thanos' feats. Now, here's the big thing about it. Jega has killed dozens of Spartans like it was absolutely nothing. On Zeta Halo alone, he killed 2 to 3 Spartans that we know of. That's not including books that do describe he has killed more. So, this means he has killed the most strong and physically fit and smart, intelligible beings in the entire human army. This dude has killed the strongest humans ever. I would argue even some of these Spartans could beat Thanos in a fight, which will be in a later video, but I do think some Spartans could beat Thanos in hand-to-hand combat. Meaning if Jega can out-combat one of these Spartans, then he could definitely much so out-combat Thanos. Something I have not quite pointed out yet is that Jega actually has a second sword, a hand sword on his permanently armored hand, which granted he did lose in a fight against some Spartan younglings, but that was like 20 on 1. So for this fact, he has 2 swords to use against Thanos. Now, granted, Thanos does have a double-bladed sword that is made out of some type of like vibranium or something stronger. But the elite blades are made of hot plasma or hard light plasma, meaning they cut right through any kind of metal they put it against. In this kind of scenario, the best way Thanos could win one of these fights is if he were to grab Jega by the arms, but then Jega can pull down on his robotic arm, the sword, a little bit back, and still burn Thanos' hand, maybe making him lose his thumb, or just making him dislodge that arm, and then he could keep fighting him. So once again, I really do think it's about scenario, but I really will have to say Jega has this fight in the bag definitely about 9 out of 10 times. There are chances Thanos can have to win this fight, but that's if Thanos can do it fast enough and get it done perfectly. Now I will say Thanos has messed up in fights and has missed punched or something like that. He has messed up in fights, so he's not a perfect combatant. He does not understand every single kind of art. He does not 100% of the time know exactly what move to throw next. So yeah, it is very highly likely that Jega, being the swords master, being the master of these swords, can outmatch Thanos any match he fights him in. Now, that's just my opinion. It's okay to have your own. It's okay for me to have mine. Now, tell me if you guys like this theory and if Jega could win against Thanos, and tell me if you disagree in the comments below.